Hello students, Sairam. Welcome back to the part 2 of chapter 3 Fiber to Fabric. In previous session we discussed about the topics what are yarns, fibers and fabrics. Let's have a quick revision of what we have learnt in previous session. And the topic was what are fibers? Fibers are the raw materials used to make textile items. They are spun or twisted together to make yarns. Then we have seen the topic yarns. And what are yarns, children? Yarns are made from the fibers from either natural or synthetic sources. They are twisted together to make fabric. And then we have seen what are fabrics. Fabrics are made from yarns. Different fabric types are produced by different methods of joining the yarns together. Then we discussed about the next topic, where do fibers come from? We get fibers from two sources, and that two sources are natural sources and artificial sources, or we can call this as man-made sources. Then we have seen the definitions of natural fibers and synthetic fibers. Then children, what are natural fibers? The fibers which are obtained from plants and animals are called as natural fibers. And what are synthetic fibers? The fibers which are synthesized in industries from simple chemicals obtained from petroleum are called as synthetic fibers. In the examples of natural fibers and synthetic fibers. Natural fibers we get from plants or from animals. Examples of plant fibers are cotton, jute and coir. Coir is obtained from the coconut husk. Then animal sources, from animals we get wool and silk. Then examples of synthetic fibers are polyester, nylon and acrylic. In this session we will discuss about these sources of fibers in detail. So let's begin with that. If you want to know about the different types of fibers, try to observe the tags of different items at your house to know about which fiber they are made up of. You will notice that some are made up of 100% of cotton, while some are made up of 100% polyester. Some are made up of acrylics or some are made up of wool. Now we will study about the plant fibers in detail. Let's take cotton first. Cotton fibers are obtained from the fruit of cotton plant, and these fruits are called as cotton balls. Cotton mainly grown in black soil and in warm climate. In India, cotton is mainly grown in states such as Gujarat, Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Haryana and Punjab. The balls of cotton burst open when they are ripe, and cotton balls are picked up either manually with hands or with harvester, but cotton is picked up from the plants has seed in it. Then cotton fibers are separated from seeds by combing them. This process of separating cotton seeds from cotton fiber is called as ginning. Ginning was traditionally done by hand, but nowadays machines are used for ginning. Then fibers from a mass of cotton are drawn out and twisted either by manually or with the help of machines to bring the fibers together to form a yarn. Now we will study about another important plant fiber, that is jute. Jute is obtained from the stem of the jute plants. It is grown in rainy season. The jute plant needs a plain alluvial soil and standing water. In India, jute plant is mainly grown in states West Bengal, Bihar and Assam. Now we will see how the jute fiber is extracted from jute plant. Here children, first the jute plant is normally harvested when it is at flowering stage. Then the stems of the harvested plants are then bundled and immersed in the water for few days until they start rotting. This process is known as rutting. Then the fibers are separated by hand from the rotten stem, and this process is known as stripping. And after drying these strips of rotted stem, we will get the jute fiber. This is how the jute fiber is extracted from the jute plant. Jute fibers are extensively used to make shopping bags, gunny bags, rope and mat, etc. Now let's study about the animal fibers. There are two important animal fibers, wool and silk. Wool, we get wool from the hair of animals such as sheep, goat, rabbit, yak or camel. The hair of these animals along with the thin layer of skin is removed to get the wool fiber, and this process of removal of hair of these animals along with the thin layer of skin is known as shearing. Wool is used for making warm clothes such as sweaters, caps, shawls and blankets, etc. Now next animal fiber is silk. As we all know that silk is a very costly fiber and has a very fine quality. We get silk from silkworms which lives on the leaves of mulberry plant. The larva of silk moth secretes a sticky fluid which becomes silk fiber. The larva then covers its body with silk fiber and turns into pupa. This protective covering is called as cocoon. In simple words, we can say that silkworm covers itself with a protective covering like shown in the picture, which is known as cocoon. These cocoons are then boiled in the water to get silk fiber. But unfortunately, while boiling these cocoons, the pupa inside this gets killed. It is boiled alive. Do you know nearly 6,600 silkworms are killed to make just 1 kg of silkworm? Isn't it so bad, students? Now we will see the next type of fibers, that are synthetic fibers or man-made fibers. Synthetic fibers are made by humans from chemical substances. They are not obtained from plants or animals. Example of synthetic fibers are nylon, polyester, rayon, acrylic. Now we will see the advantages of these synthetic fibers. They are less expensive. Synthetic fibers are durable. They are readily available. They dry up quickly and they are easy to maintain. They do not wrinkle easily and easy to wash. They are elastic and can be easily stretched out. They are strong and can be used to make parachutes, ropes to sustain heavy loads. As there are several advantages of synthetic fibers, but there is a disadvantage of synthetic fibers that you must keep in your mind. as the synthetic fibers melt on heating. So if the clothes catch fire, it can be disastrous. The fabric melts and stick to the body of the person wearing it. Therefore, we should never wear the synthetic clothes while working in kitchen or in laboratory. With this, we have completed about the types of fibers, or we can say sources of fiber. As I told you, several strands of fibers are twisted together to get yarn. But how fibers are converted into yarns, children? And your answer will be spinning. The process of making yarn from fiber is called as spinning. In this process, mass of cotton wool is drawn out and twisted. Children, a simple device used for spinning is a hand spindle, is also known as takli. Another hand operated device used for the spinning and which is very known device which is called as charkha. Do you know about, children, about charkha? If you recall charkha, what comes in your mind? Mahatma Gandhi. Yes, use of charkha was popularized by Mahatma Gandhi as a part of independence movement. He encouraged people to wear the clothes made of homespun yarn termed as khadi and shun imported clothes made in the mills of Britain. To popularize and promote khadi, the government of India constituted a body called Khadi and Village Industry Commission in 1956. The spinning of yarn on large scale is done with the help of the spinning machine. Children, the fiber which we get from plants, animals or from the chemicals, after spinning it is converted into yarns. Now next we'll see how these yarns are converted into fabrics. Children, weaving and knitting are used for the conversion of yarn to fabric. Let's see weaving and knitting. What is weaving, children? Here, the process of arranging two sets of yarns together perpendicular to each other to make fabric is called as weaving. Weaving of fabric is done on looms. The looms are either hand operated or power operated. Now we'll see the knitting. In knitting, a single yarn is used to make a piece of fabric. Unlike weaving, there are two sets of yarns are required. Knitting is done by hand and also on the machines. Here I have shown you the images of handmade sweater and the machine made sweaters. Now we will summarize what we have learnt up till now, and this chart which I have shown you on the screen summarizes what we have studied up till now. Fibers which are obtained from plants, animals or chemicals after spinning are converted into yarns, and then yarns are converted into fabrics by weaving or knitting, and ultimately fabrics are converted into clothes by stitching. So I really hope that now you have learnt all the steps which are involved to get fabric from fiber. With this, children, I am ending today's session, and in the next session we'll see the history of clothing. Till then, goodbye children. Take care.